Hey guys, today I'm going to review you another book called The Wolf Wilder. It is highly described, beautifully written by the famous and well-beloved author Catherine Randall. And this book is not an ordinary novel like other not ordinary novels. When you read this book, your heart is warm and you can feel that you're right in front of the characters in this book, seeing the things that the author is describing. So this mainly is about the Wolf Wilders. Wolf Wilders is a job in Russia 100 years ago, which is all snowy. So their job is to train the wolf to be wild again, because the Tsar's soldiers and the nobles have domesticated the wolves, and now the wolf wilders like Fyodora and her mother Marina. The main protagonist in the story is Fyodora and Ilya, and you can count Alexei as well as we read into this book. So the three wolves that Fyodora, you can call her Theo as well, is gray, black, and white. And then in the middle of the book, there was another wolf called Tenderfoot, but she died as soon as she was shot by the main villain of the book, Rakov, the Tsar's general. So this book sets up in Russia 100 years ago, all snowy, all blank white, and Theo's home was near a forest in St. Petersburg, in a forest near St. Petersburg. And one time, the beginning of the book is about Rakov knocking on the door, saying, "Your wolf, your wolf, black or maybe white or maybe gray, have stolen one of the elks that the Tsar is right on feeding." So basically, the three wolves killed an elk, a kind of deer, and brought trouble to Fio and her mother. At the first time, they just passed out with Rakov destroying their furniture, and that's it. The next time that Rakov knocked on the door, that they are in serious trouble because Fio's mother was taken away. Just think about it. Fio was just about like 11 or 13 years old, and her mother was taken away by the imperial soldiers. So that's a bit tragic for such a young girl and her life as well. And then she goes on the journey to save her mother. On the way, she meets a young soldier called Ilya, and together they walk towards St. Petersburg, where her mom was imprisoned. On the way, they met a boy called Alexei, a middle-aged boy, like a teenager. Walking in the stone barefooted, only with a sock and an axe and hooded all over, called Alexei. Alexei brought Ilya and Fio to his home in a little village, and that's where the revolution began. So they met other characters like Sergei, Yana, Bogdan, and lots of others like Vavarina and all others, that Clara. So they began a revolution with the citizens of the little village. They began to attack and march into St. Petersburg and started a rebellion against the Tsar and Rakov and their men. So basically, they charged until they stormed into the imperial palace. They found Rakov. Actually, Rakov is scared of the rebellion. He's hiding in a prison cell. So like Fio's mama, he's hiding in a prison cell because he's scared. But eventually, Fio found him and black, white, because gray is shot by one of the Imperial soldiers, which is really sad. Black, white, with anger boiling in their heart, they rushed towards Rakov and killed him once and for all. So at last, it's an unusual family reunion, with Marina and Theo living in the Grand Palace and Ilya becoming a Imperial general. And I think at the end of the story, the Tsar is defeated by the rebellions, and that's the end of the story. And now I'm gonna read you some descriptions of the to let you give a taste of how Catherine Rundell's magical writing is like. So I'm gonna read a part. So this is the part of chapter 1 that I really enjoyed reading. Once upon a time, 100 years ago, there was a dark and stormy girl. The girl was Russian, and although her hair and eyes and fingernails were dark all of the time, she was stormy only when she thought it absolutely necessary, which was fairly often. Her name was Fyodora. She lived in a wooden house made of timber taken from the surrounding forest. The walls were layered with sheep's wool to keep out the Russian winter, and the inside was lit with hurricane lamps. Theo had painted the lamps in every color in her box of paint. So the house cast out light into the forest in reds, greens, and yellows. Her mother had cut and sanded the door herself, and the wood was 8 inches thick. Theo had painted it snow blue. The wolves had added claw marks over the ears, which helped disordered unwelcome visitors. And that's the part that I really enjoy. That's about Theo and her house, which was later burned by Rakov's men, which is really sad. And I'm gonna read just a little bit of the comments that the readers have gave Catherine Rundell. So here are some of them. So I'm gonna read a comment from Philip Pullman. A triumph, exciting, moving, highly original, fierce, completely convincing. The world had better watch out. And that's the comment that I did. And the next one is by Jacqueline Wilson. The Wolf Owl has everything. It's a truly compelling read. It's beautifully written. It's totally original and yet has the familiar feel of an established classic. And I think that's the end of my review of The Wolf Owl by Catherine Rundell. And I'll see you next time. Bye!